Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX for a very special interview. We have live with us in our studio an actor that needs no introduction. But today we aren't talking about a new movie that she's doing. Today we're talking, of course, about a very special show. A show that also needs no introduction. I'm talking about MTV Roadies. Yes, she's back. She's new because she's back on the show, but she's old because she's, of course, been doing it since 2016. I'm talking about MTV Roadies season 20. The gang leader, Neha Dhupia, joins us today. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a wonderful introduction. I must say that, you know, the word live doesn't throw you off at all, but I have to say it throws me off. So I don't know. I'm going to watch my P's and Q's, something that I'm not used to.
Yes, absolutely. And especially on the show.
Yeah. Especially on your show. And
yes.
on Roadies, I mean, and it's also season 20,
Yeah.
a lot more is allowed.
Yeah.
But yeah, times have changed from what I
happy
hear.
Dussehra as well.
Yes.
You're spending your holiday with us, so we appreciate that.
Thank you. And to you and to everybody watching.
Yes. Tell us about how the feeling is. Firstly, coming back to Roadies, for you and it almost feels, as I said, as you didn't go anywhere, but we did miss you. So for you, the time off the show, how was that? And now the new season, gearing up for the auditions in Delhi, which in fact are happening tomorrow. How excited are you?
I mean, the auditions are happening tomorrow. Big day from what I hear. A lot has changed. I'm going to go back to the first part of your question where you asked me that what was it like on, like my time off from the show. I think कई बार ना जब कोई अच्छी चीज़ आपके साथ रहती है, so you don't you start taking that for granted. So I was on the show for almost 5 years and I'm like, hey, I'm going back, and suddenly boom, it's not there. And then it was, I mean, uncanny, amazing, beautiful, whatever it was. But those 4 years that I was away from the show, I had women, little girls, men, boys who wanted to be on the show from all different walks of life who would come up to me and say that, we miss you. We're still watching the show. I mean, nothing is bigger than the show, but we're still watching the show, but we miss you. And that's when I would always think that, hey, I didn't think that I had this effect on people, but it's when you actually interact with the audience, you start getting to know the effect, and they would like repeat your lines or they would quote you, sometimes fun, sometimes not so much fun, but it's just absolutely wonderful to see the amount of love that you get by being away sometimes. And you got to step away to then come back to understand, for me, I feel like at this point it's nostalgic, it's honorable, it's it makes me feel like I'm in a far stronger position.
Yes.
And I also took those 4 years off to do a lot more. We had another baby, and here I am, and it's great. Like at least I'd like to believe I'm older, wiser, more confident, and very excited to be back on the show.
Yeah. What's new this time around? What's in your mind? I know there's, of course, a new gang leader. There are lots more new contestants who we'll get to know perhaps in the auditions, which are starting from tomorrow.
Yes.
So what all is new this time? Also, double cross, I believe.
Yes.
So dhoka kiske saath ho raha hai, ye
That's
dekhna
what
hoga.
it says, Roadies double cross. So yeah, I mean, this is a big one. And for those who want to know the meaning of double cross, it's a cup of tea, but it's not a cup of tea. So yeah, it's double cross. You don't know what you're going to expect, and then whatever you see is actually not what you're going to get. But that's what the show stands for. And it's it's a lot of pressure, and I want to break this myth about the show. Like people come up to me and ask me, सच्ची में जो होता है वो recorded होता है या live होता है या आप लोग ये prepare करके करते हैं, ये scripted होता है. All these questions come up, and I promise you it's not scripted, because there's no script that's written like that.
Yes.
And there's no script that can be written like that makes you believe for 20 years that it is the truth. So whether you see turmoil, whether you see heartbreak, whether you see angst, whether you see fights, whatever you see is all true. But I feel the world around us has changed, and people have a lot more opinions. It makes us want to do better. It makes us want to tread on caution, but also it makes us want to have a voice of our own.
Okay.
And all of this, and I'm trying to be very, I'm trying to have a very large honor code here, but it also says double cross.
Yeah.
So where does your honor code go?
True.
So it's that you're always putting
Let me ask you then. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of contestants on the show who are going to face this double cross. Has it ever happened with you in real life? Have you faced double cross? How did you deal with it?
I mean, A few times, yes, when you're kind of younger and then there's surprises sprung on your face. I mean, professionally, it happened probably once in my life where I thought I was on a project, and then I kind of read in the papers and I saw the poster, and I was replaced even without being told. So at that point you're like, hey, so that's the closest I would imagine that is happened with me professionally, because it's not nice, right? Communication is great, honesty is great, integrity is great, but I'm sure that somewhere that person was trying to kind of save their face or thought someone else was better. And that's what I would imagine is kind of the closest analogy to double cross. But when it happens to you, it's not fun.
It isn't.
And I'm hoping that it doesn't happen too much on the show, but I know that this is recorded, and I know that this clip can be played again because, social media is a harsh place, and if it happens, if this clip plays again and again, I'm just going to be like, because I'll be in the position to do it, and I will be in the position to face it, and it leaves you so anxious.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Okay. Well, a lot to get up for then in the show once, of course, it starts. But now the auditions are, as I said, around the corner. Tomorrow is the big audition in Delhi. In fact, I think the details are already there. So those of you who want to be a roadie, you know where to go and find Neha and the other gang leaders tomorrow. But what are you looking for? So what's your mantra? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people going to watch this interview and who will aspire to be a roadie. One of my school friends also was a roadie in some past
was it
season. No, Vibhor.
Okay. Is he your senior?
Gupta. He's a senior.
Okay,
yes.
great.
But what do you look for?
I feel like it's place and time. When 4 years ago, I was looking for something else. As a gang leader, you're like, hey, you want to take your gang to victory, and you want to be there. You want to choose the best people, most able-minded, strongest people who can take your gang forward. But I kind of want to now look at people who won't buckle under pressure, because it's a high-pressure show, who want to play with honesty, with strength, with integrity, with all of that. Because I feel like the examples I want to lead by are the kind of people that I want to get in my team. Now, having said that, sometimes you find the right combination, sometimes you don't, and also place and time. I'm coming back 4 years later. What I'm probably looking for is not something that someone else is looking for. And God forbid we're all looking for the same thing. That's when the fights really begin. So I'm looking for a different set of qualities. You'll never be able to point your finger and say that, hey, this is the guy, and this is what a roadie should be kind of made of. And also, it baffles me, and I really want to say this on national television, that it baffles me the amount of love, the craze, the phenomena of a show this is, and the reach it has, the belief it has, the adventure it promises, the nostalgia it has, all of that. It's amazing how it's been built. And sometimes you just can't answer this question. Like, what are you looking for? We'll probably, by the time these thousands and thousands and thousands of people actually, clear different rounds of interviews, make it to where we'll be sitting to talk to them. Even then, we probably may not make the right decision, but what I'm looking for is going to be out in the open, I think, in a few weeks from now.
Okay. Who is, what has been your most bizarre or funniest or, worst audition so far? I have to ask you.
Bizarre, funniest and worst are three different things.
True.
So, the worst may not be the funniest.
True.
And
for a different reason, maybe.
Yeah, and the most bizarre may, I think the funniest ones have to be like, describe yourself in a few words, and they say that, they're strong, they're smart, they're intelligent, and all of that. And, you ask them really basic general knowledge questions, really basic. Like, I would imagine the most, like pre-primary level general knowledge stuff, and they can't answer. And then, how they try and get out of the loop every time. It's funny and it's cute and all of that. And I think the physicality ones can get really funny and bizarre. Also when they call themselves really strong and we're like 5 pull-ups. I would say like that's basic stuff, right? It's roadies. You've got to be strong. You've got to show them that strength. And then they just can't. And the ones that throw me off a lot are the ones where, there'll be like this extremely like dainty looking person or like, very calm looking person, most zen looking person who will come in and you're like, now let's just see what qualities this person brings in. And then boom, like they'll take you by surprise, be like, oh my God, no, not this. And, you know, they just throw so much back at you. A couple of them, what was the third one you said?
Funniest, most bizarre and worst.
Worst are the ones that we get trolled for.
Yeah.
I mean, we always have our kind of intentions in our heart in the right place. And a lot of times, you know, it's taken out of context and it's put out very, very differently. And those are the ones you're like, damn, what's going on? And the virality of it is just...
True. Is there a favorite gang member who you found? I know how bonds are often formed on this show. We see the bond between Prince and Ranvijay, and we see other members, you know, who these guys have found, and you know how they stick up for each other. Who's been your favorite?
You mean like a roadie?
Yeah.
I would say a lot of people in my gang, because it's funny because not everybody wants to come to my gang, and I mean, although, you know, I have won a couple of times, and then the ones who finally make it and the ones who actually come, I'm just like, hey, thank God, at least you said yes. But I really value the faith they show in me. A lot of them have been absolutely fantastic, but I'm going to admit that my bond with all the gang leaders from the past, I mean...
and we saw it the other day when you and Prince and Ranvijay put up a photo. I think it went viral.
I mean, it's just nice because, you know, you've spent so much time with them, you're away from home, you're kind of living this life, and you're on a road trip. I cannot tell you how nostalgic it is. It almost feels like, you know, you're back at school, and it's like, and when you're raised like the way I am or Run is, you know, we come from these really really cool 4G schools and that kind of upbringing. So just being on the road or riding our bikes and then, you know, stopping at, like, you know, on the highway and grabbing a meal, just all that feels fantastic. I mean, it's something where you have to sometimes pinch yourself and say that, hey, I can't believe that.
And then the competitive one is Prince.
Oh yeah. I mean, oh yeah. It really, it's beyond me how he can be these two people in one, where he can be so competitive, and then once the cameras are off, he can be so kind. But I think the off-camera Prince is the one I like more.
Okay, let's now talk about, of course, how life off camera has also been for you. As you said, you know, you took a break because you became a mother again. So how has that been for you, motherhood? You know, how has that changed you? And also, you know, bringing up your kids, is it often that you learn from them as well? Of course, you're teaching them a lot, but vice versa too?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's been absolutely fantastic. So we have our little girl, Meher, who's 6, our little boy, Gurek, who's...
6, my God.
Yeah, she's turning 6 in a few weeks from now. Our little boy, Gurek, who's just turned 3. And it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been an adventure of a lifetime. And, you know, I see it going on to infinity. And as a mom, you know, I'm like every other mom. You know, I wake up way before, like in the wee hours of the morning. I run short of 24 hours, also seem very little for me. But at the same time, you know, when I hit the bed, I'm like, I hit it with a thud and I feel like the day's over. But to say that to have this work-life balance, you're living in a mythical world, because some days work is great. Like, for instance, I'm sitting here, I'm having this chat, I'm live on television, it feels absolutely fantastic. My kids' classes got cancelled, so I quickly told my husband that, you know, put on TV, and even if it's on mute, let them just see Mama and not watch, because my son's watching Wonder Woman and Batman, so hopefully, like, this will change something.
It will.
But I'm just saying that, you know, one day you feel very stretched in one direction, one day you feel very stretched in the other direction. But I promise you, I wouldn't want it any other way, you know. And as I feel like as women, as parents, we want to do it all, and we want to do it all really well. And I'm one of those prime suspects who wants to, you know, be there for school drop off, get my work done, work out, be there for school pickup, catch a flight, come here for my interview, and then at the end of the day also say, oh, I'm so tired, I wish I can get a break, but I don't want that break.
True.
So yeah, it's been very exciting. Motherhood has been very exciting. It's been very overwhelming, and
as you said, Angad is taking care of the kids today. What's one quality of Angad that we perhaps don't know, or you know, that you'd like to share with us, of course, today? And also one thing about him that's changed after he's become a father too.
Ooh, I mean, I think I feel like, I mean, apart from the fact that he has a great sense of humor, but I don't need to quote that. I feel like, I mean, a large part of my sense of security comes from, you know, him, because I feel, and also with him, like, you know, the fact that he himself is such a secure person, such a protective and you know, what is that word where he's crazy about the kids, but I don't know what the word is. And I mean, as a partner, I don't think I could have asked for more, because I just feel like behind, like, you know, what is that saying, that behind every successful man there's a woman? There used to be that saying. I'm not going to go that far, but behind every working woman also is her partner, is her man. And you know, I am here because we both understand that there are days that he'll have to go to work and there are days that I need to go to work. And you know, I don't think that I could have asked for more. And I literally have, like, you know, I'm really not one, and I say this to everybody, I'm not one to go out there and have this or propose equal parenting. I feel like it needs to come naturally. It needs to be, your duties need to be unspoken, unsaid, and that's the equation we have. And yeah, the friendship, we bank on it every day. It's great. I'm sure he's going to take out many faults in this interview right now, and I'm hoping he's not watching.
Your father-in-law, Bishan Singh Bedi, of course, was an absolute legend.
Yes.
And you just had an event recently in Delhi where so many people came out for him. That shows the goodwill that he still enjoys. You know, just tell us about how that has been for you, seeing it, of course, as a fan and also as a family member.
You know, it's so kind that you actually would bring it up, but what we wanted to do by celebrating Dad, I mean, of course, we celebrate and talk about him every day, but what we wanted to do was to keep his legacy alive. And what we've done is that he had this wonderful cricket trust called the Bishan Bedi Cricket Trust, which we actually want to take forward year after year. So 25th of September is his birthday. And you know, we just want to have multiple kind of memorials for him. We want to be able to actually build on the fact that he's been the one who's actually encouraged. He's gone literally grassroots and found talent in the country, and we want to, in our own way, try and take that legacy forward. And that's what we tried to do. It's as harsh as the reality of it is that 23rd of October will be a year since you know, he left us, but we always want to make sure that everyone has him in his memories, but we also want to take the fact that we want to keep him alive through the trust, most importantly, everything that he stood for, and all his teachings. And we're never going to let that go. Okay,
last 2-3 quick questions before we let you go, because there's a lot that's happening this weekend for you in Delhi. But I have to quickly ask you, you were looking very elegant in white today, your airport look. You know, you literally take a flight and we get to know you're coming to Delhi.
How does that happen?
Yeah, exactly. And we see the pictures as well. So what's your take on airport looks firstly? Do you have to now dress for them? Or
that's hilarious, actors? But I mean, I had no idea that I'll be live on television talking about airport looks. But I mean, I look at people and I marvel how beautiful they look, and you know, how graceful it all is. But I think I was caught on camera at the airport at 9:30. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. 6:30 to 8 o'clock was my training. 8 to 8:30. No, 7:30 to 8 was time with the kids. And I think I, you know, 1 minute before getting out of the car, I was brushing my hair because I was a complete mess. But then you got to keep yourself together. And you know, I aspire to get there, but I feel like if you had to do like a whole like what is that, you know, like a sheet of my airport looks, it's definitely comfort over everything else, because I mean, either I'm rushing to a flight or I have the kids with me. So I mean, I'm not I don't turn out like that at the airport, but the ones who do, I mean, I tip my hat off to them. It's great.
But your style, of course, is superb. We've spoken about that at many Fashion Week interviews in the past as well.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a while.
Today. Yes, imagine Fashion Week is on actually in Delhi, and we normally used to meet there, but now we're meeting in our studio.
But yeah, no, this is great. Like, if anybody told me to trade my position right now to be on a roadie set versus anywhere else, and as much as I pretty much do everything across all genres, and I'm very blessed that I feel like that. But I wouldn't want to kind of swap my seat with anybody right now.
You know, you spoke, of course, about MTV Roadies set, but you were on a film set as well not too long back for Bad News, which came out, of course, earlier this year. And people loved your performance in that. People really enjoyed the movie. But why so less of you in films as well? And why not perhaps an OTT outing for you as well?
So I do have an OTT show that's coming out. It's around mental health. It's called Therapy Sherapy. It's my next one. And but apart from that, as far as films are concerned, I mean, the offers are very few and far between. Then you've got to choose. Then you've got to do time management, and it's a tough one because you're like, should I be doing this versus should I be on like the sets of Roadies? Like there was a big decision that I had to make right now. But genuinely, to be completely honest, what I want to do versus what is offered to me, there is a lag in the middle. And it doesn't mean that, and I feel like if you've been in the industry for 20 plus years, you don't have to jump at everything that comes your way, because some of them are opportunities and some of them are jobs. So you need to find the next best opportunity to actually, take you to the next level. Otherwise, I feel like that's where I come from, that as an actor, you can preserve yourself and then be seen lesser, as opposed to being seen everywhere, especially when you work for 20 years, because I've done that part when I would have like 6 releases a year and I'd always be on a film set and I'd be like, there's nothing else I know how to do. Versus now, where if you're not getting the right kind of offers, if you're not getting the offers that you actually want to be a part of, you don't have to jump at everything, because there are multiple things. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a producer, I'm my own show called No Filter Neha, I'm on Roadies. I mean, my largest full-time job with no offs is I'm a mum of 2. And, I can't trade all of that because I just want to be on a film set where I feel like it's a little underwhelming. So, yeah, the offers have been underwhelming.
Final question then to you. We'll end now with a rapid fire.
I am so scared. Can we like turn the live off?
And we want you to be no filter. As you said, you have a show called No Filter Neha. So we expect this rapid fire to be no filter. Who's been the favorite guest you've interviewed on No Filter Neha?
We'll come back to that. But I will answer that.
What's the one?
Let's give it to Karan Johar right now.
Why?
Because he was my first guest and I had literally no idea, very little support as far as audio was concerned. And I think it's safe to say that I was one of the first few people to get into, a podcast, which is now a podcast for us. It's gone video. But he was there, all guns blazing with his answers. And we, like in 3 hours, we had like hundreds of thousands of listens. And yeah, so the first one's always the most favorite.
What's that one question you're done with us journalists asking you?
So what's next?
What's coming up next?
You're not going to end on that.
No, I'm not going to end on that. And now I know what not to ask you next time. Thirdly, who's been that one guest, I wouldn't say worst on No Filter Neha, but the one guest that was the most difficult to draw out?
Oh, you mean the one who was in a shell?
Yeah.
Everyone's been open enough. They also say everything, and then there are some of them who ask for edits. So, you got to, there's an honor code to that, and you need to honor that. Yeah, but bolne ke liye, like they all
काफी कोई ऐसा नहीं रहा
yeah, and very few edits also when there are like errors or something like that. Did I get that person's name wrong or something like that? And also surprisingly, I must tell you, I have done almost 70 interviews and all of them on time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I've never been in a situation that I'm waiting for someone more than like 10 or 15 minutes. This is Mumbai, so like, give it 30 minutes.
True. Favorite gang leader ever on Roadies from season 1 to 20?
Gang leader? Prince, for sure. No one puts up a fight like Prince. I mean, I don't know if he's going to take my name when he goes live, because I mean, he's a double cross kind of guy. But I'd say Prince, my favorite. If I don't see Prince right or left, I'm just like, namak hi nahi hai aaj ke show.
And finally, after this recent IFA, where he was superb, and I was there watching as well in Abu Dhabi, SRK, of course, was amazing, back in the host avatar. So the debate arose again, who's your favorite Khan?
Oh my God, who's my favorite Khan? Listen, I'm not saying the rest aren't my favorites, but I think 2 decades ago, I made a statement where I have vocalized it enough. And I will let you...
I remember.
Yeah, I mean, while I say this, you can paste my quote.
Yeah.
That's how you do it on the news, right? Yeah. And you can use that hashtag for sure if you like. But yeah, Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan. Okay. Thank you so much for being No Filter, of course, with us. But for now, it's not No Filter Neha, but MTV Roadies season 20 that you've got to watch for Neha Dhupia.
Yeah.
She's, of course, back in the gang leader avatar, and there's a lot more, as she's already told us. So awaiting your auditions. I'm sure the lines are going to be huge tomorrow, and awaiting the show as well. Thank you very much, Neha, for being with us live in our studio.
This is lovely, and thank you very much. Watch us, and remember, double cross, not me, everybody else, and be kind.
Okay. And don't double cross us ever.
No, never. As long as you don't ask me what's next.
Okay.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.